Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Workshop. We have a nice video for you. It's short. It kind of kills two birds with one stone for me. First of all, it's an older video that came from the archives, so it's about time it hit the light of day. The second thing that it does for me is that it was a good training aid video, a good short video to help someone new learn how to edit videos. So if you're wondering who that person is that was learning how to edit videos, you've heard her name on the channel many times before, and her name is Emeri. Yes, Emeri's my daughter-in-law, and she's going to help me out in the office for a little while, and it might turn into a long-term thing, you just never know. So even though it's a short video, I think you're going to enjoy it. Sit back and relax, and just have some fun with it. Hello friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Workshop. We have a Martin DS1. There's that famous Martin peg head. There's a look at the fretboard. And here's the label on the inside. It appears to be mahogany all the way around. Now, I assume it's solid wood mahogany. I don't know much about these different models, but it looks like it's solid wood mahogany to me. This is the second instrument this customer has sent to me. His first one, he wanted me to lower the action some more. Well, when I got it, to be perfectly honest with you, I couldn't do that because the action was very, very low on that first guitar. I wasn't comfortable lowering it any more than that. As a matter of fact, it was lower than I normally set them up already. Well, obviously he likes low action. So he did send me this guitar because he's got it buzzing, he said. And sure enough, I do hear some buzzing on the B string and things like that. So the first thing I did when I look at this guitar is I sight down the neck again. And when I look at it, I thought, boy, this thing is absolutely flat. There's no underbow whatsoever. It just really looks incredibly flat. Well, when you get your action really low, if you get absolutely flat, the chances are it's going to buzz. You probably do have to have just a teeny bit of relief in the neck. So I just wanted to do a sanity check and see if I was really seeing it correctly. I put a straight edge on here, and sure enough, I've got a 12 thousandths, and I'm going in the middle, and it won't start under there anywhere. I would say there is a bit of relief there because I can move it and I can feel it riding back here and riding up there, and it's not touching the frets right here in the middle. You know, it's probably only a thousandth or two relief. It's not much. So what I'm going to start by doing on this, with the tension on this, you can release the truss rod, but you don't want to tighten the truss rod with the tension. I may have to get a different tool for this one. Just to show you what I'm talking about on low action, here's my 80 thousandths, and it just goes under the bass string. I mean, it's right at 80 thousandths, and it's probably even lifting it about a thousandth. I mean, it's tight. Down on the treble side, it won't even go under there without lifting it up quite a bit. So if I go to my next one, here's a 70 thousandths. 70 won't even go under there without lifting it. So let's try, this is 60, let's try 60 and see if 60 will go under there. 60 just goes under there. Now that's lower than I set up any guitar. That's just lower. I mean, I don't set them that low. You know, if you can get away with that, if you can play it that way and you don't have problems with buzzing, well then that's fine. But when you get the action this low, when you note a note here, just think there's less than a thousandth of an inch between this string and this next fret. I mean, it's going to be close. And the least little bit of vibration is going to cause a buzz. See, like you can hear that string buzzing, I think. The first thing I'm going to try to do, because there's almost zero relief here, is I'm going to try to get a little bit of relief in the fretboard. Well, I found me a long enough wrench to reach in there. I got it in there and I backed it off about, I would say a half a turn. I backed it off about a quarter turn first, or a piece, you know, some part of a turn, I guess you'd say, a small amount, and it wasn't enough. So I went ahead and backed it off some more, which I would say would equate to about a half a turn total. And now the 10 thousandths will just go in there snug. I would say it's really closer to 8 thousandths relief. So let's check the tuning on it and play it a little bit and just see if that made any difference. I don't think it's going to make a lot of difference, to be perfectly honest with you, because this is such a low action. But let's just see. Not too bad. The B is still buzzing just a teeny amount. But I think it's improved a little bit. Yeah, so we're still getting a little bit of buzz off of the B string, but it's a little bit improved over where it was, for sure. I know this guy likes very low action, so I'm not about to raise it if I can avoid it. What I'm going to do is try to level these frets through the B string here and see if we can just take it out by leveling the B area here, and especially on the treble side. We'll level everything, but we're going to especially concentrate on the treble side to make sure that we get everything perfect for this B string. Well, I would say that's about as good as I'm going to get it to happen. That's probably as level as it could possibly be. And I didn't take a ton off of there or anything. It's just a light leveling. But the frets were pretty good shape, really. They're not in bad shape at all. I know it's a brand new guitar, so obviously they should be in good shape. Now we will just go back over it lightly and re-crown them lightly, although there's not much flat there. Okay, because this fretboard is brand new, I mean literally it's brand new, although I do see a scuff right there. I don't know what that's from. Oh, I think he said he worked on it a little bit. He probably scuffed it there a little bit right in that area. So I might have to clean that one little spot up, but other than that, I don't really want to redo this whole fretboard, so I'm going to use a little different technique on this one. Instead of scraping the whole fretboard, I'm just going to scrape this one fret right here where he's made a little scratch mark. What I'm going to do now is polish these frets, but I'm going to do it a little different way than I normally do. I don't want to have to scrape the whole fretboard down, so I'm just going to take this stick-on paper here, like this. Take 600 wet or dry, cut off a little piece, and I'm just going to polish each fret like this. Much slower process, but it does a nice job for a situation like this where you don't want to mess with the fretboard. Fretboard's brand new, so there's no need to mess with it. I don't use this technique very often because it just takes so much time, and most of my jobs are budget jobs and I'm trying to get through them in a hurry, and I feel like the other technique I use is much faster, and in my opinion it does just as good a job, and most of the time the fretboards need to be cleaned up anyway. This one doesn't though. This fretboard is in perfect shape, so there's really no need to clean it up. If this doesn't stop it from buzzing, then the only other option we got is to raise the action a little bit, because this is as good as it's going to get, I can tell you for sure. Anytime you set them up that low, in my opinion, you're asking for trouble. You either have to have a very light touch when you play, or expect some buzzing. Okay, that looks really good. Those frets are perfect. You couldn't get them any better. We're going to tune it back up and see what it does. I'm tempted to go ahead and put him in a deer antler saddle. My only hesitancy is that, you know, getting it exactly like this and making it exactly the same action, because I don't want to raise his action any. I think what I'll do before I do that, go to that trouble, is to just make sure that it's not buzzing. And if I get brave, then I may just slip the saddle out and make an antler saddle. I think it might make it actually sound a little more crisp and a little more clear. It's got a micarta saddle in it now. One of the strings broke as I was loosening them, so I'm putting on new strings, even though I think the strings were fairly new that were on here. Well, sure enough, I think we fixed it. I just checked it, got it up to pitch. Look down it to make sure I don't have too much underbow. No, it's still pretty darn flat. That looks real good. Let's check his action again just to make sure that something didn't change. Okay, it's just a hair higher than 80 there, which was tight 80 before, so that's probably loosening the truss rod helped that a little bit. And down here, I think we were at 60. Let's see if maybe hopefully we're at 70 now. We're right at 70. Boy, I tell you what, that's about as good as you're going to get one and not get it to buzz. 60 is just too low, so 70s, that's where that's at. And 70s lower than I normally set them. I normally set them at 80. It's a very low action. There's no buzzing. Nice and clear. I think we got that one worked out just fine. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching.